perfect.
Yeah.
I sold the table this week.
What table?
The black table.
You
with
sold
the
it?
chairs. Yeah.
How could you?
An elderly lady came and got it and said, "This will be perfect for my small apartment."
For her small apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Okie dokie. Let's move this over there so that you can see it. Let's move this over there so I can kind of see it also. That helps. Gosh dang. Is that really as far as there? Web! Oh my gosh, I was right on the mic. I'm so sorry.
Hi, Web.
Is this thing on? It is.
Hello, hello, hello. I think that's the most full view of the room we've ever had.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I hate being this close to you.
If it was like the Life 88 studio, Life 88.5 studio, we're like a mile across the table from each other.
Yeah, we have to reach to high five.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Like we travel.
Test.
Test, 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 test.
Yeah, okay.
Testing all levels. Test.
It's a pretty good. Your mic, and I believe this is because it's more sensitive, but I think I'm also more consistently close to my mic. Your mic fluctuates the levels a lot more. I notice. I've noticed that since day one.
It's interesting.
But I'm just now saying that because, well, no hold bars. You know, it's all out on the table today, Web.
Nope, we're not ready to update that yet.
Gosh, it hurts me every time an app comes up and says, "There's an update. You want to update right now?" And I can't update right now. Hurts me because I am an update right now kind of guy. Whenever my phone comes up and says, "Hey, there's an update," whenever whenever is convenient, I always update right then and there.
I update when I go to bed at night.
I update right then and there. I used to not, admittedly, but since having fast internet, I do, and it doesn't take very long.
All right. We ready to get started?
Indeed, we are. Buckle your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen. It's gonna be a bumpy ride. I hope not, but let's be honest.
I hope not, too.
I just got a notification. Did I just now get the notification for your Discord post? No, I got a notification saying that my channel is live. Yes, I know, YouTube. I am. Okay. All right, whatever. Phone is going in the pocket. Let's do this thing. Did we ever do a? You know what? We'll talk. We'll talk more later.
Okay.
Okay.
My two best friends are going away. Going away far too soon. I mean, if you were lucky enough to meet them, to touch them, to be touched by them, you came away a better person. Yeah. If you'll excuse me.
Wow. It's the end of an era.
You don't understand. Ugh, this is so silly.
Shall we begin?
Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. Everybody stay calm.
It's time. It's time. Did you just say it's time?
Stay calm.
I'm leaving. I'm not leaving.
I'm not leaving. The show goes on.
Ladies and gentlemen, episode 214 of the Vent Lab podcast happening right now as we speak. It's been a journey.
Live on Snitch and YouTube.
I am going to push you out your window. I'm going to push you out the window of this room and not the room, whatever room we are in. A week or 2 weeks, I should say.
weeks.
Or maybe 3 weeks. Who knows? It could be like a month from now. Who knows? All right. Who knows, actually. But that's why we're here.
Oh, it was such a roller coaster of emotions, that intro. First we were gone, and then it was normal, and then you were like, I don't know what's happening. Are we staying? Are we going?
That's exactly what the podcast has been for the last 2 weeks.
Are we staying? Are we going?
Are we staying? Are we going? If we're going, where are we going? How long will we be gone? Are we ever coming back?
Is it the last 2 weeks? I feel like it was just last week because last week is when we made the announcement.
Okay, true.
Maybe you and I have
You
been
and
like
I.
pondering it for the last couple of weeks.
That's more like it. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, if you didn't listen to last week's episode, Rebecca is getting out of town.
I'm moving.
She's moving. Her and her husband are splitting up. He gets the
my
house,
gosh,
and
you
she gets the
stop
apartment.
it. Stop it. I posted on Twitter today that I sold my house and I was moving into an apartment. I thought, geez, I hope that people don't think that I'm in the middle of a divorce. Like, oh, that would be awful. But I am not. Jaywis and I are doing as well as we've ever been.
Their marriage is so strong, and that's why I feel confident in making that joke.
Yes. But I did sell my house last weekend. During the last podcast, was I getting ready to sell my house, or did I already sell my house?
You were getting ready to. Last podcast was on Tuesday. You put your house on the market Friday. It was sold
No.
by Sunday.
Nope, because this last weekend, my house had already been sold the weekend before. So when I announced it, my house had already sold.
Oh.
This last Tuesday.
Okay, I was wrong.
Yeah. Time is flying. So sold my house and move into a 3-bedroom apartment.
Oof.
And I'm pretty excited about it. But sad part is we have to say goodbye to this studio and look for a different option of what we're going to do with the podcast.
Yeah, so I think we explained this last week, but whenever we started the podcast, I was working for a radio station, the same radio station I worked for in Springfield, but they owned a studio in Lenexa, and so Rebecca and I would just record there and not tell anybody. And then Rebecca moved to Lansing. We built a studio in her basement, and we've been recording there since.
Yes. Like, so long, I forgot about the fact that we used to record in Lenexa.
Yeah, and that studio doesn't exist anymore.
No.
So we don't really have anywhere else to go.
Uh-huh. Okay, let me say thank you to everybody who listened to the last podcast and reached out to us this week and said, like, they either cared so much about us that they wanted to help us be able to continue the podcast, or they just love the podcast so much that they wanted to help in any way that they could. We sincerely appreciate you just reaching out and saying that you really love the podcast and you don't want it to come to an end.
Sometimes I forget that people listen.
I forget as well.
You know?
And like every once in a while, it's not very often, but I'll go look at the numbers just to make sure people are still listening. And I'm like, that many people tune in to hear us. That's crazy.
Yeah. But I always assume that I could just disappear off the planet and nobody would like think twice about it. But this past week, people reaching out and stuff it's warmed my heart, and it's reminded me that people care and people listen.
Yes. And good news, we have a potential solution to our issue. And we don't have everything ironed out yet, but we think that it's very promising. So we will have a place to record, and we can still live stream. It just won't be like our own professionally designed studio that we have right now. It'll be a room that's already created.
Ben, my oldest brother, is watching live on YouTube. He says, wow, that many listeners. I didn't realize you had that many relatives.
I mean, let's be honest. Most of the listeners are your relatives.
Yeah, but they're all listening from one device, so it doesn't boost our numbers. It's not fair. You imagine how popular I'd be if all my siblings like listened or watched on different devices? Be crazy. But anyway, yeah. So as you mentioned, there's an avenue that we are looking at taking that could solve some of our problems. Other problems are still like TBD. At the very least,
Webb says he's not a relative.
And Webb, we appreciate you so much. At the very least, we can record a podcast.
Yes.
Bottom line, we can record a podcast. Yeah, the live streaming thing, that one's a little shaky, you know? That's kind of like you have to be there. You got to try to set it up to see if the setup is going to work, you know? But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I'm excited about.
Yeah.
Whenever you move to Lansing and okay, Ben
says Webb's not yet anyhow.
Ben, I'll be honest, I don't see an avenue where Webb ever becomes a relative.
He has a son.
Yeah, and all my sisters are married. Rebecca.
Yeah. And I don't know if Webb's son is married. Okay, I'm going to stop trying to figure this out. Yeah.
Unless he could be part of your family.
Oh, if Webb's son is single, I do have a single daughter, but I'm sure there's a huge age gap there.
You don't know that. Gosh, what were we even talking about? Now I'm just trying to figure out how to get related to. Both sons are married. Okay, well there is that.
Well, for now.
Are you? Oh my gosh.
All right, Webb is family in our heart. Okay, we're just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah.
What were we talking about again?
Oh gosh. Oh yes, I remembered.
What?
Whenever you moved to Lansing, I took on the responsibility of buying all of our equipment for the most part.
You did voluntarily because I offered to pay and you said no because you wanted it to be yours so that if this ever came to an end, you could keep it all.
Guess who gets a new computer next week, guys? Guess who gets a new computer?
Not me, only that, because I have to go buy a laptop.
Exactly. So this time around, the responsibility actually falls on Rebecca to buy a computer.
Hold on. Did you forget about the fact that I provided the house this entire time? I think if somebody was shelling out cash for this whole deal, it was probably me.
Yeah. You know what the difference between me buying the computer and you buying the house is?
Huh.
I would never be so selfish as to sell the computer and force us to take a different avenue to record. That's the difference between you and I.
Yes, it was a very selfish decision.
Thank you for bringing that up.
When I decided to sell my house for my family's survival.
Thank you for bringing that up. I'm glad. We can't all have such a generous heart as myself, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
Jay was. Welcome to Vent Lab. Hey, babe.
Welcome to the place formerly known as the Vent Lab. This room is the Vent Lab, Rebecca.
It is. So much blood, sweat, and tears went into this room.
Yeah. Right now, behind us, the wall literally says Vent Lab on it.
I know.
Rebecca painted that on her wall.
It took me a really long time to paint that.
You know what I noticed, though?
Huh.
In the house staging photos on Zillow,
yeah,
they did not take a picture of that wall.
No, I mean, they had to take it from the door perspective. And so...
Well, there's a door over there, though.
But like my little sound waves.
Yeah.
I actually screenshotted that picture today. So I had it. Let's see.
The picture of the studio from Zillow?
Yeah, from Zillow.
Why did you screenshot that?
Because I thought it was a really cool picture.
It was a cool picture. Yeah, this room has birthed many ideas and many live streams.
Those of you on live stream, I'm going to show you.
What a beautiful room. And for those of you who aren't live, let me describe to you. It looks like a room with a desk.
Blue walls, the shiplap wall.
Yeah.
And
the shiplap wall.
Lighting effects and...
Oh, yeah, post on Discord. That's probably a smarter move. See, this is why I chose Ben to be my brother, because he has these ideas that people don't normally think of. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm very excited for this move for you guys. I get excited, and I've thought about this a lot, but I get excited for change. Most of the time it's positive change. Like if something is changing for the negative, then, you know, that's not as easy to get excited about. But like this change, even though it forces us into a little bit of a predicament with like the live stream and everything, it still gets me excited because there's like there's change that can happen, and we get to like think on our feet and make things work again, and in a little bit start from scratch. We'll still have all the audio equipment, so that makes it way easier. But you know.
Yeah, Ben says, Psh, I chose you. Also, Ben, I posted it on Discord. It is there now.
Perfect. So for those of you listening, if you want to see a picture of Rebecca's room from Zillow, you can check out our Discord. And if you didn't know we had a Discord, hey, we have a Discord. I think the link is somewhere on our Facebook page.
Yeah. So when we decided we were first going to start building this studio, it was pre-pandemic. We didn't realize that there was going to be a huge need to have this studio.
Yeah.
It was kind of, I mean, we wanted to have a studio to record in case you didn't continue working at the station in Lenexa. And I wanted to have a studio to be able to record in, like if I forgot to do something when I was at work, so I didn't have to drive all the way back. So my husband got me a mic for Christmas that year, and that was the first building block to starting the studio. Oh, I mean, buying the house and
That's
having the spare
big
room was the first building block. But then I got the microphone, and it just continued to develop from there. And this room was transformed over and over and over until we finally found something we were comfortable with. We've changed out furniture and wall colors and settings, and yeah.
Whenever you first moved to this place and you were like, this is the room we're putting the studio in, I was disappointed.
Because you wanted the whole family room?
Okay. Well, yes. My number one pick for the studio was going to be whenever you go into the Crockett's basement, it's just kind of like a family room. And I was like, this is what I want. This is where I want the studio, because it was so spacious. You could create beautiful dynamic in like the pictures for the live stream and everything. I was like, this would be a great background and make the live stream look great. But instead we were put in this 10.5 by 10 room, and I didn't get what I wanted. And my second pick was going to be the room that's Zacchaeus' room.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, and I didn't know this. First off, the family room, your family is really loud, and there's no door.
Very loud. Like, there would be no separation.
Yeah, the audio would have been terrible. The audio would have been terrible. There would have been less, like, Elvis scratching on the door, I suppose.
But he stopped eventually.
He did. It only took him a full year. But the bad part about being in Zacchaeus' room is that bathroom sounds like a machine gun whenever you flush the toilet.
That's true.
And that would have sounded terrible because it's right beside the toilet.
But the downside of this room is that it's right below the kitchen, which is the most popular room in the house.
That's true. That's true. Well, I guess the bright side of moving into the apartment is there's nowhere to put a studio in your apartment at all. So, there's no downsides, right?
Okay, so my thought with that, the idea I'm rolling around with right now is I'm going to buy a laptop, and I'm still going to have the Rodecaster, and instead of like the mic arms that extend up from the desk, I'm just going to have like a desk top mic, and I'm just put it on a cart and keep it in my closet. And then when I need to record, I could either record in my closet, because that would be best sound-wise.
True.
Or I could roll it out to the dining room table and work there.
Yeah.
Or I have the whole work-from-home studio at the apartment.
Right. Yeah.
Not my studio. I have to go downstairs to the actual work-from-home area.
You could also just bring your stuff over to my apartment, and I don't know, it's pretty quiet there.
You want me to work at your house?
Yeah, like if you have to work from home, I'm going to be like 5 minutes away. And if your apartment isn't quiet enough, you could just load up everything and bring it over. I don't know.
That's such a great idea.
if you're like, it's not like I'm working from home because of the weather or anything, like I don't want to drive to work. You could just,
Ben's saying Skype, Zoom, and I don't know why he's saying that.
So the problem, I think, for recording isn't so much like not having the space to put like the double monitors, the double mics, and all the stuff. Because with Skype or Zoom or Discord, I could have everything set up at my apartment, and then you could just zoom in.
Yes.
The problem with those is the audio quality.
Yeah, and we're not going to get into that right now because it's super boring to discuss how all of that works and doesn't work.
Yeah. But long story short, the audio quality would not be consistent. That, and we still face the issue of Rebecca having to have the work from home stuff at her place, which I could then call in through Discord. I have equipment at home, but
anyway, not an issue. We're going to figure all of that out, and that's super boring to talk about.
We could, though, if we did that, we could live stream. We could live stream. Rebecca, we have 45 minutes to fill, and you did no show prep. I'm just filling in the time.
I thought we would talk about more interesting things than...
A more interesting thing, go.
Than how
more
I'm
interesting
going to
thing,
work
go.
from home and where I'm going to work
Now you're
at.
talking about the boring stuff. More interesting stuff, go.
So after we're done with the podcast today, we have to pack up this room.
You go, oh my gosh. You go from trying to like problem solve, making the podcast work, to talking about packing up.
You said more interesting thing, go. So here
and
I
you
am.
started talking about packing.
Yeah, because we have to start packing up stuff. And this is where it's going to be like super emotional because of all the work that we put into making this room like our own, and like disassembling it makes me sad because I feel like the podcast as we know it is going away, but I know that we're trading it for something good. It's just like transitions, no matter what, suck.
Mm-hmm.
Like whether you know you're going on to something good or not, transitions are scary because you're walking into the unknown. And like this whole like packing up process is really, it's hard.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's as hard for you, but you're going to help me pack tonight after the show.
What if we used Clean Feed? We could use Clean
Are you
Feed to
going-
get the audio.
You're going back to that.
You know, because that's like what like radio industry people, they use Clean Feed.
Webb says, I will miss the live stream. Maybe maybe you could call me sometime. Webb, I think we'll still be able to live stream.
We're going to try to make the live stream work. But I have been thinking, and I haven't run this by Rebecca at all, so don't take this as a promise. Just take this as like an idea that's been brewing around Nathan's head. And mind you, there are lots of ideas that brew around my head that never come to fruition, which is why I never talk about them before bringing them up to Rebecca. But here we are. I've been thinking, obviously we wouldn't be able to do it before you move, but sometime we should try to set up like a kind of like what we did with our patrons, where we did like a pizza party.
Mm-hmm.
We wouldn't have to go that big in it, but just like a revisit one-off, maybe a Facebook live stream or something. No podcast, no recording or anything, just like a hangout, you know?
Yeah, like to test it type thing, or just you're just saying we just need to have a hangout time.
Just a hangout time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ben says moving is exhausting, and I would agree. I have, before we put the house on the market, I did nothing but clean and organize. And now that the house is sold, I'm doing nothing but packing and organizing, because I have to organize before I put stuff in the box. And like I'm getting rid of a ton of stuff. Like went to Nathan's apartment to drop off my kitchen table last night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Went to my friend Beth's house and dropped off my patio furniture. And it's like, it's really hard to get rid of some of those things. Like, I think there's a lot of things that were really good that happened here. And every time you say goodbye to something that was good, it's hard to let that good thing go.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, well, for me, there all the bad things I only heard about. There was very few of them that I was like witnessing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so there's a lot more like good memories
Uh-huh.
and that are not overly saturated with also bad things that were happening at the same time
Mm-hmm.
for me in your house in general. And so There's a lot that I'll miss. I'll miss the patio stuff.
Yeah,
Making
that was nice
s'mores
with
and stuff on the fire
and
pit.
things.
Hanging out.
I have been really quiet on social media over the last year, specifically over the last year. Extremely quiet. I've barely posted anything at all. And today I was thinking, you know, I'm starting to feel kind of good. Like as we make this transition, like I'm starting to feel safe again to be able to like put myself out there a little bit and like try to return back to normal me, what I was before craziness happened. And I just sat there like looking at my Twitter and I was like, I wrote a couple tweets and deleted them. Like I couldn't even like post something because one, like, how do I explain like a year of being absent? And I don't want to complain. Like there's a war going on in Ukraine. And so all of my problems seem like super minor to what everybody else is dealing with. And so, you know, I'm like, I don't know what to say. I finally did tweet and it was something about, you know, selling my house and moving to an apartment. And like, yeah, this is going to be, everything's going to be fine. Like, that's what I ended up tweeting. And it took me forever to figure that out. And I was like, why do I care this much? Like, why am I trying so hard to have a presence on social media? But it's been like such an oddly quiet time. And it's really good for me for my job to have a presence on social media. So I've been like trying to work my way back to it. But man, I don't know why it's just been such a challenge. I do know why. Because I fear that putting anything out there on social media is going to get a negative reaction that I can't handle because emotionally I've just taken on a lot in the last year.
Yeah.
But now I'm feeling like I've got some good emotions going on. So I feel like I can allow myself to be a little more vulnerable again and put myself out there a little bit. But then like as I'm like constructing a tweet or whatever, I'm like, oh, what if somebody criticizes this? I don't think I can handle that. And that's how sensitive I am right now. That's how bad this has gotten.
Yeah. Do you think you're ever going to get out of that sensitivity without just going for it, though?
I think once I'm in a different environment and I start to get into a groove of like feeling like there's a lot of familiarity to my life, things that were positive from before. And so I think once I'm in that place, I'll take a little bit more chance and risk at criticism. I won't care as much as I am right now.
Gotcha. Yeah, well, good, because Twitter really has not been the same since you left. So I wouldn't know. I have not posted anything.
I have a strong following on Twitter, and I just think, man, I'm so disappointing to all my Twitter followers. Like I never tweet anything.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Don't worry about that. I don't think.
Well, I mean,
no
I
offense
haven't
to
worried
you,
about
but
it
I don't
the
know if
last
anybody's
year.
noticed.
I like just completely walked away. But like I said, it's really good for my job to have a presence on social media because that's something, you know, employers look for. They want to know that you can communicate with your community.
I don't know, bro. I've had more radio jobs than you have. True.
I mean, I've sustained longer at a single radio job than you.
Yeah, but can you? Here's the thing, right? You say, "Oh, employers look for that." Never in any of my radio jobs have they been like, "How is your social media presence?" The only time social media has been brought up was like, "Hey, by the way, we do have a policy of like, don't say anything stupid on social media." And that's it. It's not like, how's your social media presence? It's, how stupid are you on social media?
I've been asked about my social media presence twice.
From Entercom?
Once from Entercom. Well, it's a continuing thing. Like we do frequent trainings on our social media presence.
Right, that's because a lot of dumb people work at Entercom.
But we have certain requirements too. Like
but
like
none of those
things of us.
None of those requirements are like a daily post or anything like that.
No,
They
that's
are.
what they're looking for, and they want us to share like personal snippets of our life so that people would connect with us more.
They would like you to.
They would like us to.
But it's not a requirement.
It's not a requirement. No.
Perfect.
But it is a requirement that we have an account. And I'm supposed to be posting stuff on it for the station. I just don't. It's been an interesting year. I can't even explain everything to you, but it's been an interesting year to the point where like I have abnormal behaviors that I never thought I would have. I worry about things that I never thought I would worry about. But I'm looking forward to some positive change and just getting comfortable with where I'm at again.
Just getting comfortable with who you are, you know? Just becoming one with yourself.
I know it sounds ridiculous, but man, I've been through a sucky time and I don't expect to like everything to be better all of a sudden. I actually expect it to have some ebbs and flows, you know, to continue to be a roller coaster, but I think my base will be better.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, 25-year-old giving a word of advice to 45-year-old, don't.
I'm not 45.
I couldn't do the math in my head. That was the only number that I could come up with.
How old do you think I am, Nathan?
You are 41.
Sure.
Are you not?
No.
You're 16 years older than me.
I'm 42.
What?
I
When's
just
your
turned
birthday?
42 in January.
So
Remember,
you're more than 16 years older than me?
You have to know that my birthday is that time that you skip every year.
Rebecca, I do not
It's
know
that
your
time where
birthday.
you like just become non-existent.
I do not know your birth date because you refuse to bring it down to a single day. How am I supposed to know your birthday whenever you focus on a birth week?
This last year, I completely ignored my birthday except for on my birthday. And even on my birthday, I ignored it until we were on air. And then I made sure that everybody knew it was my birthday. And then I went back to ignoring it again.
I have known you for 6 or 7 years.
For a while.
Probably closer to 6 years. Don't take any hurt that I don't know your birthday. I also don't know Ben's birthday, and I've known him for 25 years.
I don't take any hurt that you don't know my birthday. I know yours is in July.
That's really close.
August?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. This year, something really cool happens on my birthday. I lose my parents' insurance.
Oh, because you're 20s.
Yeah. Speaking of freaking which, dude.
But aren't you getting benefits now at work?
Yeah. So let me tell that story.
Okay.
Taking a little trip away from the moving topic for a moment. I got an email the other day. And every time I get an email, I get a notification on my phone. And because it's in a little notification, it doesn't say everything. Normally, just the title, sometimes not even the whole title, just whatever percentage of the title can fit in the notification bar on my phone. So my phone buzzes, and I pick it up, and I look to see what the notification was, and it's an email. Cool. Email from work. Interesting. And then it says employee status change confirm, and then, you know, it cuts off.
That's scary.
And now, whenever you are just chilling at home and you pick up your phone and you've received an email that says employee
Status.
employment status change, you get a little panicky. Especially since the last time that happened, Rebecca, it was because I was fired.
I can see how that would make you a little nervous.
So actually, yeah, true. The last time that happened, I was fired, but then I got my job back. The final time I was fired from Amazon, I got walked out, which is also a cool experience. Highly recommend.
4 stars.
4 stars. Yeah, it could have been 5, but it was a little embarrassing. Little shot in the pride there. But regardless, anyway, so I get this email that says employment status has changed, and I know that it's from the radio station. And that was very, very scary. But here's the thing. My mind didn't immediately go to I was fired. My mind went to I was promoted to full time.
Oh, you're going one direction or the other in the extreme.
Yeah. I was like, here's what happened. They did secretly, they did all the paperwork and everything to promote me to being full time, but they weren't going to tell me until Monday because this was on like Friday night or Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
This was Friday night, I believe. So I was like, okay, cool. So they're just not going to tell me. They're going to wait over the weekend. And then on Monday, it's going to be like this big congratulations thing. Neat. And then I thought, oh, actually, I may have just been fired. Okay. Because here's the thing is at the radio station I currently work at, I do overnights. So there's a chance that I record something, it plays overnight, they hear about it in the morning, and then I am fired in the afternoon. Yeah, it's very possible. Because I feel like if I'm ever going to say something that's worth me just being immediately fired for, it's going to be something that I unknowingly say. So that's a little bit scary. Probably not just for me, but also for my employer. So anyway, so I finally opened the email, and all it was the change from doing just weekends to doing the overnight shift.
Like you went to half-time.
Yeah, like officially it was like part-time, but you're actually like half full-time. And so I get benefits.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
considering the timing of you being so close to being off your parents' insurance.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I talked to my boss about that on Monday because I was like, oh, hey, I got an email, by the way. I said this stuff. Super scary, by the way. I'd prefer like a heads up next time. But how's our insurance? And she was like, yeah, it's pretty all right. Cool. How's dental? Pretty mid. All right. How's eye care? Also pretty mid. Perfect. It's like the stuff I grew up with.
Yep. That's a sweet spot right there. It's what I'm comfortable with.
Yes. They cover most things. Perfect. Half full time. Yes, that's exactly what it is, Web. Not too much, not too little. Right down the middle. Half full time. Which, by the way, is closer to full time than part time.
Do you know as halftime you make about
half full time?
Half full time you make about as much as I do full time.
That can't be true.
No, it is true.
Should we compare salaries right now?
No, but afterwards we can definitely compare salaries. I did the math.
Yeah, I don't buy it. I don't buy it at all. You do twice as many hours as I do.
I know, but I make way less than you do.
Not half as much as I do.
Ooh.
No, there's no way.
No, it's not half as much, but it's
you make like
a third less than you.
You make 3/4 as much as I do, but you work twice as much as I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not even close.
Well, okay. I'll explain it later. I'll explain why.
Because taxes?
No, I'll explain later.
Because insurance.
Stop asking me questions.
Because I have to do that.
No, I'll explain later.
Can we talk about how taxation is theft?
Dental is usually bad and vision is pretty cheap anyhow. I need to give an update on a story that we talked about on the podcast a couple weeks ago. We told the story about Dexter the dog that broke out of his doggy daycare while his parents were on vacation in Las Vegas.
Yeah, right.
And he went home and called his parents
Went home to be with the Lord.
Doorbell. No.
Dogs don't have souls.
Yeah, he went home and called his parents on the Ring doorbell. So we did that story. Well, I did the story for KMBZ, and then you and I talked about it on here, except for I called their dog the wrong name like the entire time we talked about it until the very end.
Can't believe it.
Anyway, Access Hollywood, Drew Barrymore show on both of them.
Wait, Access Hollywood, Drew Barrymore show on both of them.
The story is on both of those shows.
Thank you. That sentence did not make sense to anybody other than you. Access Hollywood, Drew Barrymore on both of them.
Drew Barrymore.
I know.
Drew Barrymore
Rebecca, I understand that Access Hollywood is a thing and Drew Barrymore is a person, but you said Access Hollywood, Drew Barrymore on both of them.
Yeah, the Drew Barrymore show. That's Drew Barrymore. That's what her show is called.
Why did you say it like that?
Access Hollywood, Drew Barrymore on both of them.
This is a why say lot word when little word do trick.
Drew Barrymore talked about Vent Lab.
Yes.
And you're canceling the podcast.
Yes.
Drew Barrymore is
too much
not
clout.
talking about Vent Lab. Not even remotely close to mentioning it. Just focused on Dexter the dog, and that's it. I'm just saying, I had the story first. Okay, Dexter had the story first, but then I had the story next. And then everybody else, Channel 5 took it from me. And then Access Hollywood, Drew Barrymore, both of them took it from me.
Why don't you say and Access Hollywood and Drew Barrymore, both of them had it on their show.
Okay, Stefan is asking us to answer a trivia question. That's making me nervous.
Okay. If you get it correct, I will send you $20. You cannot cheat, but you can discuss. As long as it's appropriate, Stefan, I will answer it. Yes, I'm ready. And
I'm
if it's not
scared.
appropriate, I'm going to
so
ban you faster than light.
Scared. I don't want to do this.
Here we go. How often are we asked trivia? Rebecca, this could be really exciting, but just in case, I'm gonna... What is the largest living land mammal predator? The largest living... Is it your mom?
Oh.
The largest living land animal...
Elephant.
Land mammal predator. You think it's... No, it's a predator. It's a predator. Elephants aren't predators.
Are predators?
No, they're not.
They eat stuff. They kill people.
Not on purpose.
Yeah, they do.
No, elephants are gentle
No,
giants.
Sometimes they can be really mean.
Rebecca, you're not. The largest living land mammal predator. Oh, it could be a grizzly bear, actually. Oh, but hear me out. The polar bear is bigger than a grizzly bear. Am I wrong? Killer whale is a predator of
There's
land
your
animals.
brother
That's
coming in with
true.
That.
Oh, a land mammal predator. Interesting thinking. That's the use of the comma there. I like that.
I'm still expecting the answer to be inappropriate.
Well, it very well could be, actually. But I like killer whale as the answer. The largest living land mammal predator. The largest living land mammal predator. Yeah, I like that. Killer whale, final answer. Killer whale. Oh, I hope this is right. If not, it's got to be a different whale, right? Because whales are mammals.
I don't know. I'm still sticking with elephant.
Why do you think it's an elephant? Elephants aren't
My son has a
predators.
fear of elephants.
I mean, that's totally valid. They are very large. They're just not predators.
But I think they're gentle giants too.
The largest living land mammal
At some
predator.
point during this show, I'm drinking your tea on accident. I know it's happening.
Oh my gosh, you scared me. I thought I was drinking your tea.
No, mine's under the desk.
The human being? Oh. No, humans aren't big. Humans aren't big, though. It's got to be the largest. Unless the largest predator is like how big of a predator they are, not how big the predator is, you know? All right, Stefan says, wow, I really enjoy your problem solving, and now you're making me wonder if I should rearrange my question. However, the correct answer is polar bear. I got it right!
Well, you did until you changed it because your brother.
Oh! It came down to comma placing, I guess, but polar bear, that's a good... you know what? Even though that wasn't the final answer that we went with, I did say that, and for that, I'm proud of myself.
Yeah, I'm proud of you too.
Thank you, Stefan, for that.
I have a question for you, Stefan. Also you, Nathan, because you'll answer faster. How do pigs keep their hooves clean?
How do pigs keep their hooves clean? Okay. How do pigs keep their hooves clean?
I think Stefan is going to answer.
Their hooves. I'm just trying to figure it out. I don't even know. How do pigs keep the... Oh, a
Hogwash. That's a good one. It's not the correct answer, but it could have been the correct answer.
Pepperoni said hogwash. How do pigs... Okay, Okay, I'm thinking.
Stefan doesn't know.
Okay, hold on. How do pigs keep their hooves clean? We have a car wash. We have a power wash. We have a sponge bath. Hogwash should be the answer.
It's a good answer, but it's not the correct answer. Not the answer I was looking for. It's a correct answer, not the answer I was looking for.
How do pigs keep their hooves clean?
Mm-hmm.
They don't.
Ham sanitizer.
Hogwash was way better. I mean, like, hogwash was leagues better than ham sanitizer.
Look, Jay West got it because he was in here when Alexa told me the joke today.
That was an Alexa joke.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god.
Sorry, Alexa. Nope.
Alexa, I
Nope,
said it
stop.
quiet so
Alexa,
you wouldn't
stop.
listening. A ham sanitizer, Rebecca. Hand sanitizer doesn't clean your hands.
Why doesn't it?
It just sanitizes them, which I guess
Isn't
is
that
kind of
cleaning it?
well. I guess depends.
Ben says hogwash is much better than Alexa. I mean, hogwash was a really solid answer.
Hogwash was the best answer, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway,
What were we talking about again?
I don't remember at all. Now I just want to do like fun trivia. Dude, we used to do that every
was
Friday.
A lot of fun. I know. I miss doing the live streams, but we traded that out because now we're on Life 88.5 on Saturday nights doing our live show, and it's going awesome. We played a game this last week that I made up. Nathan, every time I come up with an idea, he thinks it's a little questionable, usually because it's going to take more work for him to put together.
That's
and to
not
run.
always, no, that's not always true.
Oh, wait, Ben has a question. Okay, we'll answer Ben's question after you explain why that's not true.
You say I always get nervous because it requires more effort on my part. That's not true. I get more nervous the more effort it requires on the listener's part, because the more effort it requires of them, the less likely they are to call. And if they don't call, we don't have content for the show.
That's true. So we played a game called Sound Scavenger Hunt.
Yes.
Where we gave people a list of sounds they had to accomplish, and they had 30 seconds to run through their house and do it. And I fully expected, like, families who were sitting around the table having family game night were going to call in and run around the house together and do the sound scavenger hunt. But we just had older women call in and do, like, we had like 3 older women.
I don't know what it was. Saturday night was like old ladies' night out or something.
And the best one was the lady that we asked to beatbox, and she didn't know how, and you told her just to say boots and cats and boots and cats.
Yep.
Did you use her audio for the promo this week?
I did.
Good.
I did. Yep. Her name is
That was
Ruth.
the best.
It's a very old lady name.
Stefan said, nice talking to you both. If you have a link for me to donate, I'd be happy to, but I'm going to crash other podcasters.
Stefan, I very much appreciate your willingness to follow through. However, you keep your $20 bill, get yourself something nice, or maybe like half a gallon of gas, and you have a very good night. I appreciate you swinging by the podcast.
All right. Ben says, what starts with E, ends with E, and only contains one letter?
Starts with E, ends with E, and only contains one letter. Is the answer false because what doesn't start with E or end with E or only contain one letter?
This is a trick question.
Envelope. It's envelope.
I knew it was going to be something like that.
Envelope starts with an E, it ends with an E, and I mean,
but it could contain more than one
technically
letter.
speaking, it could contain more than one letter or less than one letter. But typically, you only put one letter in an envelope, because why would you send more? And if you do put more than one letter in an envelope, don't they all count as the same letter?
No.
No?
What if they're to different people?
Like in the same
Household? or
household?
something.
I don't know. Stamps aren't that
Then,
expensive.
yep. Also, if you rearrange the letters of mailman, you get a very angry person.
Ben has been a dad for 12 years, almost 13. I'm sure he has some wonderful dad jokes. Do you understand that, by the way? Because you look really confused.
I am. I'm reading it backwards, and I don't.
Nope. If you rearrange the letters of mailman, you get a very angry person.
I still don't understand.
Well, whenever a mailman is delivering letters, they have them in a specific order so that it doesn't take a long time to grab the letters for that specific address. So if you rearranged them, they wouldn't be happy.
Okay.
You good?
So my boss, Mark Lavoie, he's my supervisor, I guess. Mark Lavoie, he's an experienced dad. And almost daily, he sends me dad jokes.
Webb says, Rebecca, it's a pun. Thank you.
He sends me dad jokes, and I send back a GIF to show him how annoyed I am with his dad jokes, but I secretly do like them. Like, I look forward to receiving his dad jokes every day. And the other day, my husband said, hey, have you been saving Mark's jokes? I'd like to be able to refer back to them in my sermons. And I was like,
You have been keeping him, though, right?
No, I haven't.
What is wrong with you?
Like, my husband is rocking the dad life. Like, he is so dad. He's living his best dad life. Like, he can't be any more dad than he is right now. Like, classic stereotypes.
He doesn't have much of a dad bod. I feel like he could go a little harder on the dad bod.
He's been working on building a dad bod over the last couple of years, but he's also talking about working on getting rid of it. So
yeah, he can't make up his mind there, and I can't help but feel like you might have some reason for that. You know, speaking of dad jokes, and speaking of people calling in to family game night on Saturdays and everything like that, and games actually working. Whenever I worked in radio in Springfield, Missouri, I would do bad joke Fridays. And at first, it was just me reading jokes from the internet.
mm-hmm.
But after a while, people finally started calling in with jokes. And I would do basically the full Friday show. Not just an hour or two, but I would do the full Friday midday show of just people calling in with jokes.
It was fantastic. I loved that.
Yeah, it was great. There was this older guy that would always call, and he was like this old farmer guy. I forget what his name is, but he'd always say, hey, it's so-and-so from wherever he lived. And I was like, oh my gosh, hey, so-and-so from wherever you live. And he always had great jokes. Even whenever he didn't have great jokes, I laughed at them anyway. And I would still air them.
I remember that guy.
Yeah, he was a great guy.
Mm-hmm.
Great guy.
My husband says, Rebecca, you be nice. I didn't realize I was being mean. Here's a joke from Mark.
He said, what classifies me as that?
Dad, what makes you think you would make a good waiter? Let's just say I bring a lot to the table.
Ha 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 ha. After 213 episodes, can you believe I don't have a laugh track?
A guy gets arrested for downloading all of Wikipedia. He says, wait, I can explain everything.
That's impractical. That's a lot to read.
Okay, hold on. He's complaining about something.
Oh, Marcus?
Mm-hmm.
I could think of a few things.
Do you guys have a preference between copper and iron? Or is it an either or situation?
I don't get that one.
Like either or, isn't that like a...
Oh, now I get it. Yeah.
Okay. He shared a picture and said if my dad jokes were people.
Oh, it's just some guys with long socks and jorts.
Uh-huh. One more. Okay.
Yeah.
When I complain, my wife always says things could be worse. I could be a hole in the ground full of water. I know she means well.
Okay.
Not everybody can be as lucky as me and work with somebody that has such great material. When we actually worked in the studio together, he would his desk was next to mine, and he would be like, Rebecca, like there was an emergency, like breaking news, and he would think about how to deliver it. So I would think that there was like something big happening every time, and it would be a dad joke, and he would get the greatest joy out of just seeing me annoyed. It was his favorite thing to do every day, and I mean, really, it was my favorite part of my day too.
Well, you get to go back and re-experience that because in a couple of weeks.
We're talking about going back, but now that the gas prices are so high, I'm like, It's going to cost me just as much to drive to work as it is to
Bro,
get
honestly, here's the dumb part about that too, dude. I promise you this gas is not the same.
Is it burning a lot faster?
It burns so much quicker, dude.
They're watering it down.
I think they are, dude. I really think they are.
I don't think you can water down gas and it still work.
They're doing something. They're putting more air in it,
More air.
more gas in it, yeah. But like
Isn't
human gas.
Ethanol, if you put ethanol in it, it's cheaper. Isn't ethanol fuel made from corn or something?
Beats me, man.
I don't know.
I'm sure somebody from Nebraska would know. Wait, you are from
I am
Nebraska.
from Nebraska.
You know what's
So
funny?
maybe that's why I know that.
This is totally
Or I think I know that.
sidetrack, and we can get back to talking about gas prices. But I thought people joked about the amount of corn in Nebraska,
Mm-hmm.
but people legitimately have cornfields as their front yard in Nebraska. I went to Nebraska recently, as in like within the last year,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't go to Nebraska a whole lot, but if you go during corn season, there's a lot of freaking corn in Nebraska.
It's true, but you were also out in rural Nebraska
True.
and missed the city part of Omaha.
But I mean,
You
like,
went out to like Mahoney State Park, which is like it's out there in the rural area. You're in the cornfields.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's a lot of corn there. There's a lot of corn.
It's really a lot like Kansas.
There's a lot of wheat in Kansas.
That's good because there was a lot of wheat in Ukraine, and that was where we were getting 50% of our grain from, and now we're not. So maybe Kansas will come through on the whole grain thing.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Sorry.
News reporter Rebecca Crockett from KMBZ.
I can't help it sometimes. You know, I have all of this information shoved in my head, and every once in a while it just comes out on accident.
Ben said, yeah, gas is insane. You can't afford to drive to the office, especially if you're making less than Nathan.
It's true.
She's not
It's
making
true.
less than me.
No, I am making less than you. Okay, hourly I'm making less than you.
You're working twice as often as I am. More.
I
Twice as
know,
many hours.
But I make less than you do.
No, you make more than I do.
But less than you do per hour. And if you consider the hours I'm working over what I'm supposed to be working, man, I'm making
Bank compared to me.
nothing. No, because I don't get to use, like, I don't get to say, like, hey, I worked 5 extra hours today. Give me the money for that.
All right, you work. You do your job. You live in an apartment for a year, and we'll see who's poorer. Because I've been living in an apartment for a bit.
Okay, well, we might get to test that out if my husband doesn't have any income. We'll be able to see who's actually poor.
Well, you should be able to live off the $3.5 million you just got off your house.
I might have to have the $3.5 million.
You know what's more expensive than gas? Wood and houses and anything built out of wood.
Oh, well, Rebecca needs to work half full-time twice. Seriously, I would
Yeah.
make more money.
Yeah, you are working half full-time
I did get
twice.
a 2%
That's the
raise.
joke. Rebecca, half full-time twice is full-time.
I don't think so. Isn't half full-time like 30 hours?
No, we just finished talking about how I work half full-time.
Okay, it's so sad, guys, that we're leaving the studio. This is like our last time recording in this ever. We'll never record in this studio again.
Yeah,
That sad?
it's a little sad, but
It
it's
is a
also
little bit
exciting
sad.
because now we are being forced to make a setup that we can take virtually anywhere, and that's exciting.
It is.
Guys,
It is exciting.
raise your hand if you want Rebecca and I to do a live stream from Worlds of Fun.
Nope. No, looks like we've got no takers.
At least 50% in this room. Do you like roller coasters?
I would do a live stream from the Cat Cafe from Whiskers.
We could do that.
Uh-huh.
We could.
Do you know they have a coffee shop now attached to the Cat Cafe? Like just a completely separate coffee shop. We should go there.
No, I haven't been there since I had to video middle-aged women doing yoga. So it's been a while.
Look at all the stories you have.
It's been a while.
I appreciate you doing that.
Yeah. Oh, and then after that, whenever we went to the freaking Pilates thing where they hang from the
the material, like
Yeah, what even
things-
was that?
I don't.
It was-
aerial something,
it was-
aerial aerobics or something like that.
Yeah. Aerial yoga? Did you
No,
just say that?
aerobics?
Aerobics?
Something. It was something like that. It was exhausting. I almost puked.
Yeah. I was pretty good at that though.
You were pretty good at it.
I should have gone to a circus, bro. I could have been so.
Richard says, I shall miss you guys. Richard, we're not done. Like, we're not ending the podcast just for a couple weeks while I move.
Yeah.
And get a laptop.
Yeah, that's gonna be the thing keeping us from recording is Rebecca getting a laptop
And a cart, a roll cart.
And by the way,
Web
don't
says
offer
Vent
her
Lab on the road.
don't offer Rebecca a laptop. I want her
Why?
to buy one. Not because I had to buy the computer for this setup, but because I want you to have a nice laptop. And I know that if you have to buy one, you're gonna buy a nice one.
A Mac.
Okay. That's going to be super expensive. You can get away. We've been over this, bro. We've been over this. Rebecca, you get what you want. It's your money, all right? You're the one only making half full time twice. But, okay? But you have to understand that whatever price range you're looking at, you can get a laptop that is at least a third better than the MacBook that you're looking at.
But is it better?
Yes, that's why I said that.
It's not.
It
Maybe a better
actually
price,
is.
But
No, it's the same price. That's the point. It's the same price, but a better computer. Gaming laptop with a 3060. That would be great for streaming. Webb says he'll buy you a Mac. Webb, I don't want her to get a Mac.
Web.
Ben said maybe a Surface Book. That would be a good one as well. That would be a good one as well.
I like the Mac. And the Rodecaster was really made to go along with the Macs.
You know what, Rebecca? You have been using a gaming PC for the last 2 years. You're going to go to a Mac and be like, oh my gosh, I miss having a PC. I miss being like,
You might be right, Nathan.
You know,
you might
having
be right, but
everything.
we'll have to see. And then you'll have the satisfaction of saying, I was right.
yeah, I was right. You just wasted $2,000. Mac prices are crazy. They're crazy.
So we're taking a short break. We will not be here next week because that is when I move. And then I would guess that following week I
Probably.
will not be like ready to set up by that Tuesday. But then the following week. So we'll take 2 weeks off. We'll keep you guys updated. We should be back.
So it'll be April before we're back. Yeah. Sometime in April.
Web, or will she not have the frustration of the Windows file system? Web,
Okay.
you are speaking my language.
Hey, how can you say the frustration of the Windows file system and then go and use Finder
Huh?
on Mac? You don't even know. Web, she don't even know.
I've used Macs most of my life, but you have forced me to learn how to use a PC, and I figured it out. And just give Grace the phone and let her stream, y'all. We can't mobile stream though. We have to have, like, I can't remember so many followers to be able to stream on a mobile phone.
Yeah, it's weird.
But we could stream on the laptop. We could do that.
Anyway, you guys, it's been a great 2 years in this Vent Lab studio. The Vent Lab studio will return,
Just not this one.
just not this room we're in. But it's not about the
Vent
room.
Lab will return, but
Yeah.
the Vent Lab studio's dead after tonight.
Oh my gosh, okay.
It's dead.
All right, it's dead.
It's going away.
Sure. But
For
until next time.
bigger and better things. Oh, sorry. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
sorry. Should I turn this up so that you can hear that? We're ending, Rebecca.
Okay,
Stop
and the
talking.
podcast.
My name's Nathan.
And I'm Rebecca. We out.
Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Okay.
Ben is letting us know we can mobile stream. We just need the right apps. And of course, Ben would know that.
That is true. That is
Richard
true.
says, birthday in 2 weeks.
Ben, they
Richard,
also
your
all
birthday's in
have
2 weeks?
Apple phones, so they might not have access to the right apps.
We have iPhones?
Yes,
Yes.
Apple phones.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Why did you? Yeah. Rebecca.
Jay West. Woo, it's been fun, everyone. Like, now Jay West is talking like we're officially ending. You know what, like, the winning thing was when I was really thinking about, like, should we just end or should we keep going?
Mm-hmm.
Why I was like, no, I think we should keep going. This would have been great to talk about on the podcast, but.
I mean, we can still talk about it in Let's Be Honest.
I'll save it for Let's Be Honest.
Well, you can talk about it here, too.
Well, then why would I talk about it on Let's Be Honest?
Good point. They're starting off crippled.
Richard will message me tomorrow. Okay.
All right. Anyway, we'll try to keep you guys posted. We'll probably make a Facebook post and a Discord post before we go live, so it's not just going to be like you have to keep track every single Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll let you know.
Mm-hmm.
But at least 2 weeks, and then we might be back.
Yep. Probably. Hopefully, the sooner the better. But it just depends on how life works.
Mm-hmm.
So, and timings are going to be different too, because Rebecca's going to be going to work and not going to be able to hop into the studio.
With gas prices, I might not go back.
Yeah, especially because you drive a Jeep, dude. You literally nerf your wallet. You insist on using Apple products, and you drive a dang Jeep. Mm-hmm. You're just setting yourself up for failure.
Both paid off though.
For now, until you decide to buy a Apple laptop.
I'll pay cash for that.
We'll talk about this later.
I sold my house.
Oh my gosh.
For like $3.5 million.
$3.5 million.
Or was that billion?
It may. You know what? It may have been billion. All right, guys. Bye. We love you. Thank you so much for all of your support. Apple taxation staff.